So welcome everybody to Build Your Database and Systematize Your Added Value. The purpose of this webinar is to help you to build your database in a more systematized fashion without a lot of work. So most of us, I think, would agree that the best way to build our database is meeting one-on-one with people. So meeting with a person, talking to them, building relationships. And we do that through, trade shows. We do that in the grocery line. We do that, with our friends and our relatives. We do that through networking meetings. So, that's the number one and the best way to build relationships and to start building on your database. But that also limits you. So what happens is now your database is limited to the amount of time that you can spend getting out and meeting people, or, the referrals that you get. So we're going to focus on today and understanding that is the number one way. We're going to focus on the second way that you can get more people onto your database and begin building a relationship, and that is through a system. And I'm going to use internet as a system because it is the largest and easiest way to capture information for people, and we're going to show you how easy this is to do. Now, all I'm asking you to do is watch. I don't expect you to run in and sign up for a bunch of things. I want you to consider how you can best use this in your business to increase the size of your database, and I'll give you a quick reason why. I've been running Roaring Women for a number of years, and we've got a newsletter list, and there's a little over 3,000 people currently on the list. So what happens is they get a newsletter. Whenever I send a newsletter out or a special announcement, they get that special announcement. Well, I recently ran a special where I put together a really cool 3-month coaching program called the Miracle Grow Business Acceleration Program. And when I sent it went out to the entire 3,000 people. Well, the first 3 people that signed up for that $1,500 piece of program, the first 3 people that signed up I'd never met before. I'd never seen them. I'd never heard from them. They'd never even sent me an email. So these are people that were on the list. Now, I had conversations with each of them asking them why did they sign up at this particular time. There's a number of factors that reasons people purchase, and I think we all know, it's the right time. It's the right product at the right time. But the most important piece is it's the right person selling the product at the right time at the right price. So they had already built a relationship with me unbeknownst to me, or I had built a relationship with them unbeknownst to me by sending out good information regularly in my newsletter. Now, newsletters take a little bit of work, and so it's been work over the years. But was it worth 3 times $1,500 over the last 3 years, the amount of time I put in? Yes, because there's many other things that I've sold through the newsletter and through the list that comes on with the newsletter. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at how you can build a database, because you do need a database, and I'll explain to you how we started building our database. I'll start with going to our home page on Roaring Women, and you can see on our home page, this is our our newer website. Our old website had learn 23 rules, gold rules to promote your business. And when someone said, oh geez, I want to learn 23 golden rules to promote my business, they could sign up on that link to promote their business. By golly, there's a little web form. They fill in that web form, and then their information goes into an online database for me to send them 23 golden rules. And I'm just starting with this as an example for you so that you can see how you could do this. So for example, if you've got a spa, you can have 50 ways to keep your skin young looking in between spa visits, or 10 ways or 15 ways. And this could be something that we'll tell you where to put it, but it could be on your website, it could be in your email, it could be a number of places. People can sign up to get regular tips from you. So when Shannon signs up for my 23 golden rules to promote her business, she's going to start getting rules or something sent to her every day, or however often I want to send it. It might be once a week. She'll get an email from me, a nice little email from me, giving her an idea on how to promote her business. Now, for me, this is how I began building my database. Then once I had these people on the database, I thought, well, why can't I send them a newsletter? So I started once a month at first sending a newsletter, and then it turned into once a week sending them a newsletter, giving them the information they needed, knowing that most people who signed up for the 23 Golden Rules to promote their business, most of them obviously had a business, or they wouldn't have signed up for the 23 Golden Rules. So your first step, and I'm going to open up just a notepad to give you a first step. Your first step is going to be determine what kind of value you can offer to your client in terms of information. Oops. Okay. And how can you start to build trust with them with the information you have? So think of the clients that you deal with regularly. Gail, for example, has send out cards, and she wants to teach people, how to use them either to follow up or, how to build a relationship using cards. So what kind of tips, Gail, and this is a question you can answer later, what kind of tips can you give them on building relationships? How do you build good, solid relationships? And so she could put together a list of tips or ideas, things that she could do to build relationships. So each one of you on this call, Nikki, for example, would be the top 10 tips for speaking successfully. She might have a list of simple tips that she would tell anybody anywhere without giving away the farm or giving all her training in one tip. She could say, make sure you're properly hydrated, and that would be a tip, and she'd have a little paragraph afterwards that says, when you're properly hydrated, this is what functions best. Your brain functions, blah, blah, blah. Most speakers aren't properly hydrated when they speak before a crowd of people, and that could be one of her tips. So your first step is going to be is determine what kind of value you can offer your clients in terms of information. Because we're going to ask you at some point in time, if you want to do this, to build a tips list or something that you can use.